everyone, welcome back to another session of the Hopry. My name is Mark Starr, and today I'm going to be going back to Fort Collins, Colorado. Earlier this year, Tim and I got together and we reviewed the Odell Saboteur, which today is still one of my favorite beers of this year, 2011. So I wanted to take a look at another one of their beers. This one is called the Friek. It is a ale with cherries and raspberries added and then aged in oak barrels. It also clocks in at 6.5%, and I'm really imagining, because the name Friek is kind of a play on creek, which is cherries, that this is going to be a bit of a sour beer, but I've not had this one, so I don't know how sour. I do know that I really like a lot of the Odell barrel-aged beers that I've had recently. This is one that I obviously, like I said, I have not had. So I'm really anxious to try it. And so why don't we go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and pull the glass over here. And we'll get some in a glass and set that down there. Well, I can tell you right away that color is a lot like you would think, but I will also tell you that that poured out just like soda. There's literally no carbonation on that right now, and you can see just as I hold that up that any bit of carbonation that came out with that pour is completely gone. But the color on it is this really nice, beautiful red color, slightly hazy, but I'm just really amazed at how quickly that head dissipated as soon as I poured it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get in there and smell it. And let me even give it a little swirl here to see what happens. Yeah, really not a whole lot of head on there at all. So, well, smelling it, it really, it smells like what you would think. Obviously, when you compare this to something like a Cantillon Creek or a Driefonteinen Creek, it's not quite as funky as acidic smelling on the nose, but I definitely get the cherry in there. Don't know that I'm getting a whole lot of raspberry. I think the cherry smell is really the predominant aroma that I'm pulling out here, but I'm getting a little bit of that barrel aging, so I can tell that they have aged this in a little bit of oak, but just not a whole, extremely a lot going on here. But let's go ahead and taste it and hope that it gets a little bit better. Okay, well, it's not horrible. I'm definitely getting the cherry and raspberry in there, so that's a good thing. A touch of oak. There is a good amount of acidity in there. I think the biggest problem with this beer, though, is that it's just a little bit thin on the palate. And when I say thin, I don't mean watery. What I mean is that I don't feel like there's enough hop character in there or sweetness to kind of round the beer out. It feels just very, very thin. And I have a feeling that because that head dissipated so quickly, that's partially, the problem. So, flavor-wise, though, I really am happy with this beer. I think if it was a touch sweeter, and I don't mean I want it to be sweet, but I think if the maltiness was a little bit bigger, if there was some head that was retained on there, I think that it would open the beer up a little bit more. I think it'd give it a better mouthfeel. But as it stands right now, I think that this is just kind of I guess an under-delivered beer. I just really have an issue with the fact that head dissipated so quickly. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and pour a little bit more here, and I'm going to pour it very vigorously, and I just want to show you how quickly that dissipates. That actually stuck around a little bit longer than the first time, so let me go ahead and try it again. Yeah, the head really does help this beer, though I'm going to stick by the fact that I think it does need a little bit more malt character in there just to give it a little bit more body. Not a horrible beer, meaning not the worst beer I've had this year. I was really, having high expectations for Odell's barrel-aged beers. I would say that this is probably not my favorite of the ones that I've had. In fact, the Saboteur is light years ahead of this. Would I kick this one out of bed? No. In fact, I think I'm going to probably go up and watch some True Blood here in a little bit and drink the rest of this. And I guess that's it for today. So, Odell Friek, I would probably pass if it's something that you've been thinking about getting or even trading for. I would probably trade for something else. But that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this session. And until we get together next time, my name is Mark Starr. Cheers.